these are three different things. We could spend days on talking about each of these three areas. But today, I want to focus more on probably the top circle and this circle here, because this is where you can get more intelligence. And if you want to leave right now, if there's one thing I want you to think about is developing a relationship with the third-party inspector. Okay, if you don't have time, and many of you will go back to Europe, go back to USA, back to Australia, you don't live in Hong Kong like I do for the last 19 years, your relationship with your third-party inspector is probably 10 times more important than your supplier, okay? Because they're going to be your eyes and ears on the ground. And unfortunately, the relationships between the inspectors and factories is normally better than the relationship with you. And you get the raw end of the deal in those situations. So you've got to spend time to invest. Get to know your third-party inspector, all right? Don't just choose the first one that shows up on a Google search, all right? That's the number one takeaway. Relationship here, okay? Get to know them, get them to go with you on your visit to the factory. When you decided, okay, this is a factory I want to go into, go with the third-party inspector, get the inspector to show you, teach you what they have taught me over the years, all right? What am I talking about? So, let me get this working. When I go into the factories here, we want to find out, they're a bit slower here, all right? All right, when we go into the factories, what we find is that the suppliers are different. Everyone is different. Every supplier is making money in different ways. So when the top-end supplier, they're making car audio products, but they don't wait for the order to actually do the manufacturing. They just make. They're making the 10,000 units of inventory in the hallway as you walk through, waiting for auto customers to do their order. Then they open up the box, put the software in, and then ship. Wow, double counting. But that's their business model. This factory here is selling over 3 million USBs a year to corporates, gifts, and associations. Making money hand over fist. But the factory doesn't look like it should be making a quality product. It doesn't matter. When you get a gift of a USB, do you complain if it doesn't work? No. That's their business model, and it works, okay? Both these suppliers can make you money, but you need to understand how are they making money before you can start to negotiate. Because negotiation is about you giving something to them that fits in with their business model, okay? So you go to this supplier here, they want volume from you. You go to this supplier here, they want a long-term relationship. There's different suppliers require different items. Okay, let's keep moving. Understanding the business model. You get what you pay for here. Here we have, you go on the show floor, and here are two different speakers that we saw on the show floor. And what is special here is that the Bluetooth speakers here, $650 FOB, and here, the high-end ANC, 1850 up to 3850 USB. Now, I'm not here to sell them, but what I do is actually go into the factory to see the difference. You can make money selling both of these on Amazon. You can make money, both of them. You have a different strategy. If you want to sell something like this, you need to have a stronger brand name on Amazon because your competition is pretty fierce once you start putting speakers over $100 on Amazon. Okay? These you can put on Amazon for $30, $40 or less. Okay? And make money. Remember, 4 times FOB is your minimum you want to go on Amazon with. All right, so what do? All of you can do what I'm doing here. You do this at a trade show. Here's what I do. I go into the 2 factories. And here are the 2 factories here. Hello? Wake up. All right, we got 2 factories here. A little bit slow today. I'm energized, all right? So here are the 2 factories for 2 speakers. And we have the first one, and that's your $650 FOB. Here's your 1850 up to 3850. Big difference, right? So what? What do you learn from this? Well, your sourcing headphones, you need to hire a third-party inspector. All electronics. You cannot. It's a liability risk if you do not get a third-party inspector. I would have minimum inspection here. Why? Because the quality control is so good. How do you know that? You go to the factory, you see it yourself. By the way, I would say any of you sourcing electronics, minimum, you should go visit AO. Tell them I sent you. They'll take you through the factory. You need to see what a good factory looks like. Then you have a benchmark. If you don't have a benchmark, how do you know a good factory when you see one? Here's the factory, $650 US FOB. Big difference, right? Okay, would you do minimum QC on this? No, don't do that. Okay, like a client came to me, they were sourcing 22,000 of these earphones from a factory and they wanted me to do the QC. I look up the statistical quality control tables with 22,000 of phase 1 audit. We're talking about 147 units that need to be inspected. That's a lot of BS. You need to do 500 to 1,000, especially when you're talking about electronic products. Forget about the statistics, all right? Use your common sense. Which one would you want to have more auditing on? This one, hands up? Of course, not this one, all right? That's your common sense. You see the factory, oh, I think I need double, 3 times of auditing on this, all right? So if you're ordering 3,000 units, minimum, you want to inspect minimum 200, 300 units, all right? 10%. The statistical tables say, oh, you only need to audit about 30 or 40. That's a lot of BS, okay? Don't listen to what the inspectors tell you. Use your common sense here. All right, so there's the difference when you go into the factories. What do you look for when you're selecting your factory? These are all factories I've been to in the last 18 months. I've done 30 now, and my first example was I went to this factory, then across to this one. Find out where the factory is. Show a map to the supplier, where are you on this map? Even if you don't know what St. John is, all right? It takes 3 hours to get from here to here. You're wasting time, all right? A lot of the higher end factories are over here in the Falan district, Nanshan district, okay? The lower end factories are over here, okay? Cheaper end, all right? So think about that when the location of the factory is very, very important. Global Sources can provide the PDF of these slides also. So happy to give the deck to you. If you give your card to Wings, she'll look after you. All right. So let's crank this up. Okay, here are 2 other factories making Hoover boards. We all love them. And you know at the start of 2016, the US government banned Hoover boards, right? Until they got a UL standard together, so Hoover board manufacturers can say, we are now certified, you can buy from us. All right, so the Hoover board manufacturer over here, this one here, this one over here was the first to get certified. It was the first one. And you can see the difference between this factory and this factory here. Okay, let's use my computer. Use my computer. That's all right. Okay. All right. Let's keep going here then. All right. So this factory here, the Bluetooth, they will make, and they couldn't get UL certified. But they said to me, we don't care. We have another 150 countries we can sell to. All right. And they were making 600 Hoover boards for a French customer on that day. So these factories still exist. You call these workshops, and this is the real factory that is making Hoover boards. Okay, let's keep going here. So we want to go deeper into the Hoover board factories, and we can play this one here. Right, and the one at the top, right? And so what's this one? There's got a battery coming in, and this is receiving inspection. So here's one bit of intelligence. You start with receiving inspection. Notice the difference. This factory is actually checking every battery that comes in, whereas this one is receiving a battery pack. You've got 20 2,200 milliamp hour batteries put together, 4.4 amp hour battery that goes in the Hoover board. All right, that's the thing that goes boom, blow up. 74 fires around the world in 2016 17. All right, they've got Samsung written on the outside. I don't know if Samsung's on the inside. You don't know either. Right? So that's receiving inspection. There's no receiving inspection here. This is what you call receiving inspection. All right? Look for that. If any of you are sourcing products that has a battery in it, receiving inspection is 10 times more critical. All right? Does the supplier know and check the quality of the materials going into your product? All right? Walk away if there's no receiving inspection. Okay, let's keep moving here. Okay, so now we've got our two car audio manufacturer and smartphone manufacturer. I want to show you now, look for separation. What is it about separation? Okay, when you're talking about electronics, we want to separate the electronics. We want to separate components right throughout the assembly line. What do we mean by separation? That is what we mean by separation. That is state-of-the-art smartphone assembly. Every component is separated by this orange cradle here. That's separation here. Love the separation in this factory, okay? This is what's going to give you a liability nightmare. This is your liability when you are sourcing electronics, right? That is not separation. This is what we call separation here, all right? So keep that in mind. That is very, very critical, okay? This is a total joke. I cannot believe, all right? This is their approach to the separation. All right, now what else can you learn when you go into the factory? All right, here's how you 10 times in negotiations. You go in there, and here we find they're actually putting the micro SD slot, and there's a problem. There's a problem, the QC sheet, we find a problem. And so I want you to go and actually diagnose what is the cause of that problem. So you go back to the operator that's making the final part of that problem. And so we find the micro SD doesn't go into the slot properly. It doesn't go into here, all right? So there's a bit of misalignment going on. So what do? Take me to the operator that is the final part of that operation. So what we do now is we take that, now we go to the operator that is making that final part. And so we ask, where's the operator? Here he is. Here's the operator here. And you just ask questions. You just ask, okay, show me your process. What are you doing? The operator is just on a certain seat. There's no cradle helping the operator to minimize any variation in his process. That is a problem, okay? Right, what about the soldering? Is there a soldering? Let's go to the solder operator. All right, have a look at this. He's got his legs crossed, he's sitting down, and he's trying to juggle as he's soldering. All right, that causes variation. Variation causes quality problems. Quality problems in your product on Amazon causes you legal problems. All right, do you get this, right? Okay, and so then what you do now is, okay, you've done that, will the supply change? No, but you can suggest to the supplier, you get in the conversation, you're talking with the supplier. That's what you do in a factory. You don't just say, oh wow, nice assembly line, all right? So first thing, show me your QC sheet. And say, oh, what is the most common fault? Oh, show me the production line. Show me two people on that production line. Oh, make some suggestions. If the supplier is not interested in listening to your suggestions, then maybe it's time to walk away. Walk away. Okay? Because this is a supplier, I assume, you want to develop a relationship with over time. Okay? And so for them to be sustainable over time, they need to fix these problems, because these problems show up, they go in the trash, and the supplier's costs double. Okay? No wonder why you get into strife when you start negotiating. You did your first order, it's perfect, you got your units for $18 US, and suddenly your next order, they put it up to 22. And you're wondering why. Okay? And then the supplier says, oh, material price has gone up. No, materials didn't go up. It's just that they have so many defects, they have to cover all of their inefficient processes. So you can see that for yourself. You don't need anyone. Okay, so let's just summarize what we've got here. Look for receiving inspection. Okay, look for an OEM relationship. So for example, if the supplier has OEM relationship with a major German brand, a major US brand, major Japanese brand, the Japanese are very, very scrupulous when it comes to monitoring and selecting their suppliers. The Japanese brand, perfect, okay? I've seen it in factories. All the processes are perfect when they have a Japanese supplier. So look for that. Look for a major OEM relationship with international customer. Ask the supplier, do you have major brands that you supply to? Okay, you can ask that on the trade show. Attention to detail, anti-static, gloves testing, dust-free, separation. You saw what I mean by separation now. You see the difference. Big difference. Rejects. How do they deal with rejects? follow a problem, like what I just showed you. Okay, how is that coming about? If that doesn't change, then that's just going to add to your costs in the long term. You cannot negotiate with an inefficient supplier over time and expect to win. Let me repeat, you cannot negotiate with an inefficient supplier over time and expect to win. Okay, the supplier will want more and more and more price. Okay, part of the factors of improving your negotiation skills is to give the supplier ideas for how they can reduce their costs. Okay, and then that gives them more margin, even if you say the same price. Not that you want to take that margin that you save, okay? Use that for the supplier to benefit from. Then they see you as different from all the other buyers. That's how you improve your negotiation, right? Negotiation isn't about having 3 factories and then you play one off the other. Oh, factory A, $19. Can you do it for $18.50? Otherwise, I'm going to go to factory A. No, you don't do that, right? You've got to go deep into the process of supplier, because this is your sustainability, sustaining the relationship that you're with. Okay, now what I want to do, I don't want to finish without showing you a real factory audit. So what do we mean by real factory audit? Well, from time to time, clients call me up and say, can you go and audit 2 factories? I say, sure. What are they? If I'm interested, I'll go and audit it. If I'm not, I'll just pass it on to my friend to do. All right? And they will contact them. I don't give any commission for any of these audits. So I think this factory audit, they paid me $550. I audited 2 factories. My expenses were probably higher than $550. But I did it partly, said, look, I'll do this audit if I can video everything and use it in my teaching. Okay, because I want buyers to see what is really happening in the factory. So let's go and have a look at factory audit. So this was over 18 months ago, and the client allows me to share this. We're sourcing a picture frame. So you're going to get a chance now to look at 2 factories, one a red factory, one a blue factory. And there's our red and there's our blue. And so first of all, you're going to start with an audit. You want to look at the website, right? You want to look at the website. Okay, there's your website. All right, what else do you see on the website? Well, you can see business registration. You always need to look for, in the business scope, it needs to say that they make something. That's very important. Okay, they have to do that in order to get approved as a manufacturer. They have to say that they are making something here. Look for that. Next, what about a red factory? Yes, they do make things. You can see in here where they make what they say importing, exporting, but also they are manufacturing products. Okay, so notice they both make, so they both pass the website test. So what do we do now? Let's have a look at their own promotion. You can see there's the blue factory and there's the red factory. Hands up, which factory do you like so far? We haven't even visited the factory yet. Hands up for the blue so far. Hands up for the red. Okay, the red, see the certificates? Don't trust anything. Don't trust that. That's not going to help you. All right? Anyone can do that. Anyone can Photoshop certificates. All right? What you do need to do is you actually contact the association or the licensee to see if the factory is registered. So HDMI, you go to the HDMI site and look for that factory registration. Okay? UL, if they're UL certified, you go to the UL site, look for the factory registration. Don't just look for UL certificate. That's how you find out. Okay, so, and there's the blue factory. So what we want to do now is we want to go, let's go in, shall we? Let's go into, and I love this factory first. Why? Because I don't have to go up the stairs for this factory here. So we've got blue factory, we've got the red factory here. So this is real now, this is a real audit. The client did buy from one of these factories. I recommended one of these factories, but I want you to find out, work out for yourself. Where do you source from? Okay, both of these are in Shenzhen. I don't have time to go to any other places, so I just went to Shenzhen. Okay, so immediately I go in here, I see a lot